Hello everyone, welcome back to a little cosmic forecast going on here. So on November 30th, 2024, of course, 10:21 p.m. Pacific time, we have the new moon in Sag. Now, of course, it'll be, depending on if you're in like Central or Eastern time, it'll be December 1st, okay? So adjust to your time zone. As always, I have to have the chart set up at a 0 degree Aries, setting, so that, because I don't know where you live. I don't know where you live, and if I have it set at just one time zone, it just doesn't look right for everyone else. This way, we have a natural zodiac, a natural, horoscopic setup, or horoscopic, I should say. And it's easier for learning as well, okay? So new moons, let's go over that first. New moons are the beginning of the new moon phases. The moon goes through 8 phases every 28 days. So when we have the new moon, its influence will last about a month. Now, usually it's more... it can be more internal, but not always. It depends. It depends if you're more introverted or extroverted. But I do believe that all change sometimes it seems like it's initiated from the external world. But if you're on your spiritual path, which I think that anyone who believes in astrology and follows it would be, right? Everything tends to work from the inside out. We make adjustments, we have new attitudes, we learn new things, we question reality, we question what's going on inside of us, and then, we eventually work things out. And whether or not the outer world will ever mirror back to us the truth on planet Earth, because we are in this, we're in this realm of duality. We still have that connection to our internal, our spirit, which is, connected inside of us with who we are, and throughout the cosmos, in the highest realms from which we, hail. So, and I know it feels and seems, I can feel the little abstract, kind of like, oh, wait, what? What in the hell is she saying? What I'm saying is that you're already hooked up, hardwired to your spirit. Your spirit's living inside the nucleus of every cell in your body. So you can trust that. If you're always asking for the truth as to how to guide your life or what to believe in, just keep asking for the truth, and eventually you'll get it. But you have to be open to all possibilities. And, because Neptune's in Pisces now and Saturn's in Pisces, now Neptune's retrograde. So for those of you who are interested in this program, it's Astro Gold, and all of the planets that are carrying, planets or points that are carrying a red, degree, that means that planet is actually retrograde at this time. So, but we will be having Mars retrograde soon. There's going to be some other things happening, and I'll do separate videos on that, so as to let us just focus on the new moon. But with Neptune in Pisces, with the 2 planets here, Saturn being kind of like the time-space continuum planet, the one that's holding that reality of things go slow here, we have time to make adjustments, we sometimes hit walls, we sometimes have delays. But with Pisces, with that energy and consciousness, we are more intuitive and more sensitive. Now, we can also be, some people on the challenging side of it can be just, all over the place and not taking self-responsibility, and being involved in a cult type of a, situation. But, that usually happens when somebody is, there are so many other things going on that it's not just Pisces. But, okay, so with the new moon, we can see it's coming in at 9 degrees of Sag, 32 minutes. The 9th degree is the very last degree of the first decan, which is, the end of developing some type of a foundation. Sagittarius has to do with our beliefs. It has to do with our freedom, how we speak up. It has to do with the way we explore what matters most to us in our lives, what brings meaning into our lives. It rules, politics. It rules religion. Well, Jupiter is the ruler there. Sag is the ruler of Jupiter. I'm sorry. Jupiter's the ruler of Sag. Goodness. And then, the thing with the 9th degree, to me, when I, think into that, now, from 0 to 9, all the other degrees you might want to reduce down to get to the numerology of it. But to me, the 9th degree in numerology is karmic. It's an ending. It's right at that end, and then you go back to 0 if you want and start over. But in astrology, the next degree, that 10th degree, which, less than 30 minutes, less than a half hour later after the new moon, the moon will be in the phase where we're going through the second decan, which is 10 to 19 degrees, and we're learning lessons. So, and then one day later, the sun will move to, less than a day, will move to that 10th degree, and then the moon will continue to move on. But for this point in time, and for all intents and purposes of any new moon, wherever it lands in your chart, you're going to want to know what house it lands in, because that's the area of your life where you can have the most power, because new moons are all about setting intentions. And it will guide your intentions, all of our intentions, especially if we work with them. You can kind of just wish and hope and put them out there and not do anything about it, but that's not very powerful. Sometimes it is. Sometimes you've been working already so hard and then something just clicks and everything changes overnight. It's not because you magically, just thought of it. It's because you actually have been working on something hard for a very long time. Or just been, diligently, maybe it wasn't hard work, but it was diligent focus and attention on a certain area of your life that you had passion and had life force and had the love for what you do. So that can happen. Other things that can happen with every time we set an intention and then we follow through with the work or the energy into it, that energy and that intention wraps around, just the intention itself will put the energy out there to wrap around that focus of what you're trying to bring in. So with Sag, you could do quite a bit of work in the area, no matter what house it lands in. But with the Sag, bringing in that ability to get on your path or stay on your path, it can help inspire us. It can help us to search for what we, any type of a quest that you're on. Because Sag naturally rules the 9th house. The 9th house is the house of divination. I have Mars in Capricorn in my 9th house, and so that's why I'm all about divination. And astrology wasn't enough. I had to go to tarot, and then I had to go to the Lenormand, and then I had to go to Kipper, and oracles were always in there, and seeing signs all around me, and listening and hearing, and sensing, all of that. But anyway, for all of us, when it comes to Sagittarian energy, we are trying to expand ourselves. We're trying to grow. Just remember, Jupiter's the ruler. Jupiter's all about growth and truth and learning how to trust yourself. This could be more, and because I'm focusing on Jupiter as well so much, not just because it's the ruler of Sag, but it is opposing Mercury. Now, Mercury's retrograde, and so it's going back. We don't have the exact, but it's within 3 degrees right now of the opposition. Oppositions bring through exchanges of energy with other people. Sometimes confrontations, think of it like two mirrors, like, maybe you're here and they're here, or vice versa. Or maybe you go back and forth. And with Gemini, we're sharing information. We're curious. We're asking questions. We're trying to figure out, how to connect the dots. And in the best sense, it's, can be part of creating win-win situations because we're gathering information together and we're looking for the truth. But on the dark side, we've got lies over here and politics over here. Lies with Gemini, politics with Sag. Now, if you're a Gemini, please don't take any of this personally, because I'm pretty sure you don't go around lying all the time like you know who. But anyway, it can be confusing, especially with Saturn and Pisces, or Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. It can be confusing for some people who are trying to figure out like what's really going on. And that's why we have to slow down. This is fast-moving energy, fast-moving air, fast-moving fire. Sag can go very quickly. It's great for intuitive work, but then we still always have to, stay very grounded and connected in our beings. And that is being helped and supported by Venus and Ceres, both in Capricorn, and then Uranus in very body-oriented Taurus. So there's good work there, good support there, and that fast flow of energy with these three, just about three. One's a little wider orb, but much wider, but three trines down to Uranus. Again, Uranus can be very intuitive, can be very, very intelligent. But then again, on some other levels, we've got, Uranus is ruled by Aquarius, Uranus rules Aquarius, Pluto's in Aquarius, and with the opposition to Mars here, this has been going on for quite some time. We're having arguments, and we're seeing bigotry, and we're seeing narcissism, we're seeing my way or the highway, we're seeing my will, my way type of thing. And that, that's the dark side. Those of us who work in the light, we can open our hearts for networking with each other, open our hearts for seeing someone else's side to something, trying to understand what concept they're coming from. What I love the most about this polarity here, and then also in this combo here from Jupiter to the Sun and the Moon, and Jupiter to Mercury, which Mercury is the ruler of Gemini. There's so much going on here about truth versus lies. And then over here, opening the heart and networking and connecting and seeing the big picture. That would be working it on the, the positive side. But in politics, things aren't working out that way, or they usually don't. Now, then you're also seeing the news organizations just jumping on the bandwagon that Trump is the president-elect and it's all over, and now how do we protect ourselves from him? Meanwhile, I'm holding space for Biden to throw down his Presidential Emergency Act, secret documents, and just stop this whole thing. It needs to be done somewhere between now and at least December 11th would be like one of those deadlines, because that's when the electors are named, and then the 17th the electors meet, and then apparently they have it set for the electors' votes to be counted or received in D.C. on Christmas Day, no less. I don't know if that's still going to happen that way, but that's what it's been scheduled for. You guys let me know if you see anything different on that, because I haven't looked in a couple of weeks. So anyway, because of the new moon in Sag, this conjunction of energy of the light coming in, and then the new moon being where we can impress our wanting the truth and our power of wanting the truth. Remember, Jupiter's all about getting to the truth. Jupiter rules Sag. Jupiter over here holding space in that second decan of learning lessons. We're still, and Jupiter's retrograde no less, we are still, and politics should be still learning more. Now, I don't know when recounts can stop, but they can discover ballots that have been thrown out and ballots that have been lost and bullet ballots that have been put in just for Trump to a number that is higher than people who were registered to vote in specific counties in swing states. So there's that. There's still a lot that could come out. And again, that 9 degrees. Like now we're moving into the learning lesson stage. That we had a foundation that's been built, but now what? Is what I'm wondering about. It's like, what? So, and you can see the triple trine down here coming off of Mars that has, it's gonna go retrograde. So I can't say that that's going to catch up. And the moon and the sun, of course, are going to go away. So this is a wide orb of a trine here. Or not triple trine, but the double trine coming off of the sun and the moon. So this is kind of a weaker influence. And you can see we don't have a total mystic rectangle like we're going to have on January 3rd, which is, that's just a wowza chart that I'm going to do in a little bit. But we've been having this one aspect to the architect going on between Mars, South Node of the past, justice, fairness, and equality, trining over to the North Node of, it's an act of war. It's literally an act of war for a foreign country to interfere in our election. And I do believe that Russia and China were on it together with the help of Elon Musk and his Starlink, which would be represented by Pluto and Aquarius on the dark side, using the energy on the dark side, and Uranus and Taurus, wanting to control something, wanting to possess something. So there's that. There is one aspect of the architect over here. It just doesn't connect up with the North Node, but it goes from the South Node of the past up to Ceres and Pluto. Now, Ceres, I have to talk about that for a second. Just in case you're new or you don't remember, because we all forget. There's a lot of information within any astrological chart at any time. Ceres is our dwarf planet, just like Pluto and just like Eris. They're all dwarf planets. That Ceres is holding the space for what we will nurture, what we love, what we will put our energy into. Being in the sign of Capricorn, there's duty and self-responsibility and wanting control. And the willingness to do a lot of hard work, especially because it's, look at this, 2752. We're almost at 28 degrees here. And 29 degrees, and then it moves into 0 degrees of Aquarius, which will be happening soon. So, this is the nth degree. Things are more intense. We want to take care of things. We want, this is the admonition here. This is kind of I don't know, I don't want to say a warning, but I want to say protective force field that could absolutely get us stocking up on water, stocking up on food, stocking up in having go bags, being prepared for, just think of anything, like if the electrical grid went out, or if, something shocking happened, or, we all have to be prepared for earthquakes and be very careful with floods. We have extreme weather events when Uranus is in Taurus, and it's retrograde now. It's going to be quite some time before it moves into Gemini. So, and I don't know if that will get any better. Taurus is earth events. Air events would be more along the lines. Air and communication events would be more along the lines of Gemini. So I just want everybody to be safe. I want people to think in terms of prepare for the worst, and then once you've done that, you can settle into that container that is held for you, and then you can thrive the best you can from within that, and you can let go of things that you don't have any control over. You won't need to worry anymore. So I won't go over when retrogrades are changing and all of that, because it would be too much out of the realm of just focusing in on the new moon. I really want you to get the fact that the new moon influences last for a month, and it's especially the days before, the week before, the days of, and even a few days after. It's a really, really powerful time for planting your intentions, sowing the seeds of your intentions of what you want to bring into your life. And like I said, whatever house this lands in for you, you will have extra power in that area of your life. Like if it's in your fourth house, you'll have a lot more power in getting your home and your roots and your the people that you love and your family and all of that taken care of this next month. So let's see, what else with this chart? We've got the oppositions here that can be confrontations that can lead to breakthroughs. So we learn something new and we've got a breakthrough. We learn more how our intuition works and we have a breakthrough. We get information that comes through, Mercury is the messenger. We get messages that lead us to the truth. We talk to friends, intuitive friends. They help us find our intuition, and we have breakthroughs. Oppositions don't have to be bad. Now, we do have a challenging aspect here. Let's see. I'll come back to this. Let me go to the tight orbs. Okay, so now you can see it more clearly. See this sesquisquare here, or sesquisquadrate, however you want to pronounce it. Same thing, it's 135 degrees, and it's the aspect that shows unexpected detours, or plans that were made, and there's a disruption. It's coming from Mars in Leo, Mars being fight energy that moves, energy that goes forward with a lot of courage because it's in Leo. And we're almost at 6 degrees. And it connects up to Mercury. So again, a lot of people speaking up, speaking out. Now, with Mercury retrograde in Sag, we have to be careful with just shooting from the hip and saying whatever you think. We have a tendency, whenever Mercury is retrograde, to be misunderstood or to have to eat crow. So be careful, especially over the holidays with family, and expect them to be doing the shooting from the hip thing. And you may have to stand up like the mama lion and say, what now? You think what is going to happen and you're going to do that in my house or whatever. There could be, we've got fighting energy here. Fighting, protective energy. We also have predator energy. Mars and Leo. Leo on the dark side can be predator. The lion. Mars can just go after what it wants. So don't get in an argument with somebody that you don't trust, right? Just don't even start it. Pick your battle and just let it be. And maybe that is the thing to intend for the new moon. Maybe that's the big thing, is to say, I will pick my battles and I will not get into any arguments. I will be quiet, but get away. Get away from people who are verbally, there's a huge propensity here for verbal abuse, okay? Now with these two sesquisquares over to Eris, that's the reason I say pick your battles, because Eris is the kick-butt feminine counterpart to Pluto. She's the feminine struggle for equality, and it takes her about 558 years to orbit the sun. She's been in Aries since 1926, and she won't move into Taurus until 2048. So we all have Eris in Aries somewhere in our charts. Now, wherever she is where you will fight, and what you will fight for, right? Mine's in the 12th, and it's conjunct my moon. I will fight for the forces of light. I am the spiritual warrior, and I don't know, I mean, what I'll do with that with the rest of my life, I don't know. But with this new moon here, in Sag, again, that shoot from the hip energy, and somebody is against women. There's that possibility. And maybe you want to stand up for them or stand up for yourself or whatever. Again, you have to be careful. Now, if you're dealing with a child who's heard the wrong message from their awful parents or their awful whatevers, maybe an older sibling or whatever, and they're getting the wrong idea about what it's like to honor the feminine, and vulnerable elderly and vulnerable children, or anything that's different. See, we always have to think back to Pluto in Aquarius. On the dark side, this is bigotry. This is anybody that's different from you. You think they are less than. The dark side. That's what it's about. It's too idealistic and not humanitarian, and it goes against the law of brotherhood and sisterhood, where we are all the same. We're all the same. Doesn't matter what color you are. We're all human beings. We all bleed. We all have blood. We all, you know what I mean? Fern? Get what I'm throwing down? So you may have to, if there's a child that is getting the wrong message, then maybe you can gently say, well, but what if you thought of it this way? And you could make some powerful headway there to help them heal. See, with Chiron in Aries here, there's a propensity for people to move through their wounding that, they might have a false belief that they don't deserve to exist, or their unique essence, there's something wrong with them because they're not like everyone else. Well, those are the kids and the people we need to lift up. We need to help them know that we need to mirror to them that their uniqueness is what is the most beautiful thing, right? I mean, we can't, no one can do us. There's only one of us. That's the thing to remember. There's only one of us. And to conform and be like the status quo, well, then that's the dark side of Sagittarius with we have a stellium in Sag now. The dark side of Sag is that dogma coming from religion, coming from patriarchy, coming from even people who think that the country should only be a certain way. Well, you know what? What are you so afraid of? I finally watched that Vigilante Incorporated documentary last night, and wow, just wow. I highly recommend it. They have it on Amazon for like $1, $2 or something rental on Amazon Prime, but it's also on, I posted it in my community section. Hold on one second. It's also on YouTube in its entirety. So, yeah, it's basically, what it boils down to is realizing that Governor Brian Kemp, and this doesn't come through until the end of the video, but or the end of the documentary, but you got to see everything, we should watch the whole thing always. But at the end, it blows the cover on Brian Kemp and his ancestry in plantation slavery. That's what he's hooked up to. I've been saying for the longest time that what we're going through is being on Earth at the same time as a lot of these reincarnated slave masters, and we have to teach them, because they may have gotten away with a lot in the past, so we have to teach them that they will not get away with it again. So, yeah. Okay, so the sesquisquadrates, or sesquisquare here, detours as to the direction that a lot of people will be going in, because we've got Joan of Arc energy down here. Maybe there's a lot of plans that are going in effect for marches in Washington, because there's so much fight energy here between Mars and Eris. So detours can happen on the healing level here because of the moon. The light shines into the emotional body. The emotional body also is very deeply connected into our core essence. You just can't get away from it, right? But the sesquisquare, square, say it however you like. Sometimes I can't get it out. The detour here with that connection to Eris, and Eris being very close to Chiron and in Aries, and then the trine up to Mercury here. So much fire. This is a lot of fire. And what I get the sense here, is that this is a place where you can hook into the fact that if you're alive and breathing on the planet, you more than deserve being here. You deserve to assert yourself and your unique individuality and be independent. And Eris, the ruler of women fighting for their rights, that's all about independence. So political independence, intuitive independence, speaking up with your independent voice, the freedom, freedom to just be your unique, beautiful self. And no matter what, maybe there won't be any arguments at all. Maybe there won't be any interface with anyone else at all. But you just have this experience with this new moon on November 30th or December 1st, or the days leading up or the days afterwards, after integration is done. You may have an experience of knowing that you deeply belong to yourself and that you never abandon yourself again. That no matter what you're feeling, you will honor your feelings. As long as you're not hurting yourself or someone else, that it's all good. It's all about processing it through and then coming through with a whole lot more life force. Remember, Mars rules Aries, so we've got that connection. There's just so much connection here going towards freedom. So there's that. We also have, as a backdrop here, we have Ceres exactly sextiling. Now, sextile brings through an opportunity, but you still have to work for it. You have to do something. There's an opportunity, but you have to jump on it. And it's coming from Ceres, wanting to protect all that it loves and nurtures, that duty and self-responsibility to protect those that you love, your fur babies, your loved ones, your family, and the things that you own and the things that you can control, and then connect it up to source energy and taking self-responsibility to honor your sensitive, compassionate, mystical, intuitive side, and to include all parts of yourselves in your healing process. That's what healing is all about, actually. This is, the epitome of the light of Pisces, where there's no boundaries as to how far you can go and how fast you can go. You can go at the speed of light into the healing realms by including everything that you're feeling. And also taking advantages of these opportunities where you feel bigger, you feel more open, more clear. So that is a really beautiful aspect. The other semi-square to Saturn, well, semi-squares bring through indecision and friction. In a natal chart, though, when I see a lot of them, or at least a couple strong ones, or between, strong planets, personal planets, I usually see that is on-the-job training, a person who will have, a lot of different types of training and on-the-job training, which is the best way to learn. So anyway, with politically, I'd have to say with a semi-square here coming from Saturn being the government, we still don't have tremendous decisions around, the protections that need to be in place. They're trying, but excuse me, but it's not. It's not there yet. We're in that. What they would call the lame duck period, but I'm just waiting for Biden to throw down the gauntlet and say, we've been attacked by foreign countries. It has been a cyber attack on our election system, and that is an act of war. That's what I'm waiting for, because we've got warring energy here, the political battle here, the detour here, the disruption energy here, the fight over here. I don't know. We'll see. But for us, we just have to be open and pray for the truth. Just pray for the truth and pray for courage. Sending Joe Biden tons of courage. This Mars is conjunct his natal Pluto, so you can bet he's feeling it. So, and you know how Scorpios roll. I mean, he has a stellium, so that's 3 or more. He has 4 planets in Scorpio. 3 are in the 12th, where you just kind of sit and wait and hang out, and then you figure it all out. You bring everything together, and you take self-responsibility, and you've seen him before. It's like he just sits back, and then bam. That's what Scorpio does at the highest levels. There's tons of refinement, tons of gathering information, tons of research, tons of digging your heels in and just sitting and waiting. And then when you know what you know, bam, boom. So we'll see. We just have to wait and see. But I want to just send him lots of love, not pressure, not you have to, because I think he's already feeling it. He's the intelligence president. He's already hooked up, and he's been to the G20 and back. So, yeah. Okay. Now, I think have I said enough about how important it is to set your intentions before this event? And keep working on your intentions during and after, and then know that sets up the energy for the entire next month. So in through, we're looking at, let's just say close to New Year's Eve, right? Somewhere's in there. So, okay, that's all I have. I'm sending you all the best, wishing you all the best, and I'll be back later with another update. Okay, bye.